Okay, hello again. So these Wednesday night sessions are generally a time for you to come and ask questions and say hello. But for this course, the first portion of these sessions will be recorded. It'll be some type of lecture, not so micro in time, but probably anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes is what they usually run. Tonight's will run a little longer. And what I'll be talking about is either relevant to the content of the week or the technical aspect of the lit reviews. In this course, we are learning about organizational behavior. All of you have learned about organizational behavior. All of you live organizational behavior every day. So this course isn't supposed to teach you org behavior 101. Here's what it is. It's supposed to help you take that org behavior content and look at it differently and how to apply it to your world right now, in your professional world. So we are jumping in with the lit reviews. I take my student feedback pretty seriously. I have running logs in every class of what I can try to improve, what makes sense to change. I'm always changing my classes constantly to try to make them stronger, keep up with current events, whatever it is. In this course, one of the pieces of feedback that I've received a few times was there wasn't enough time at the end to do the final piece. So I backed everything up. I've run the course like this once. It worked really well. So we're going to go with it this time as well. We are jumping into the annotated bibliography. Actually, I think, Lisa, this is the first time we're doing it in week one. So I did back it up maybe even further. Lisa is going to help talk to us about searching for articles, databases, how to get into and establish sort of the foundation for the first assignment, which is the annotated bibliography. For us, that is going to be the foundation going forward. And I'll give you more information on that at the end. So Lisa, I'm going to have you take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me this evening. And I know I've already met a few of you, and of course I would have met a couple of you through Dr. Hood's class last semester. How I want to start tonight is finding out from you what challenges you have been experiencing as far as finding information, whether it's been, difficulties using databases or just not finding information, or maybe you've had challenges with Google Scholar, anything at all. I'd like to know what's been kind of those obstacles, especially think back to last semester when you were working in Dr. Hood's class, and what were some of those walls that you hit? Because I want to make sure that I address areas that you feel kind of muddy about. The other thing, as Dr. Bilodeau said, definitely I'm going to review, where to search and remind you of some good strategies for searching. I also want to touch upon organizing your articles, your information with Zotero, which I might have touched upon with Dr. Hood's class. You can nod your head if you're like, yeah, you did that. And I also want to touch upon AI. And tonight I'm going to give you a quick tour around Research Rabbit, which I've just kind of started to play with myself. Is anyone already using Research Rabbit? Okay. All right, great. So that was just one thing I wanted to introduce to you. Because I know you've already started to talk about how AI is being used within your program. I'm assuming that most of you use some type of AI tools or generative AI within your own work. So it's really a matter of trying to understand how you can most effectively use it in a learning environment, in an academic scholarly environment. So that's what I'm trying to touch upon with you. And anytime that I'm working with you, I'm trying to touch upon that. There's going to be some of you who are going to be like, I love AI. I use it all the time. And there's others of you who are like, I'm just, I'm old school. Some people say to me, I'm old school. And so that is completely up to you how you organize according to how, your faculty's expectations. But I want you to have kind of some of those understanding of some tools so that you have a choice of how you want to organize your information and, using things like AI tools to make things a little bit smoother. So I'd like to start off with what obstacles have you had with information research in the last few months? You can raise your hand, you can type it into chat, whatever you feel like doing. But I'll give you a moment to kind of think about that and respond.
Hey Lisa, this is Nadia. I
Nadia.
think you hit the nail on the head with regards to the organizational piece and
Okay.
just continuing to gain more fluency around that and build kind of, as we go through the program, just having the confidence to continue to really kind of keep things organized. And then I think I think maybe a little bit more I don't know, I'll be a little bit more vulnerable in this space, I guess if you will, but it's just more so around um, I kind of wish we had like an instant G chat feature, right? Where I could like phone a friend super quickly. Like if Lisa is on chat, I can just chat at you and we can kind of connect super quickly, but you're one person understanding that. But sometimes that does help to be able to you masterfully moved through a lot of the research tools when we were in Dr. Hood's class in one of the sessions. So just being able to kind of get to things quicker, faster, and then organization. So kind of a balance between those two is what I'm finding as a little bit of a gap right now.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. And so part of me being here tonight is really reinforcing some of those things that I introduced to you. Any other things that you want to share?
I believe mine was a topic selection. I think in our last course, research design course, we were provided with an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about what we would like to study or
Mm-hmm.
research. And I ran into a lot of hiccups because what I thought I initially wanted to study, um, it wasn't something that was a lot of research behind it. And so I felt like my topic kept on being pushed towards a different direction versus what I thought I wanted to talk about. And then again, I had a lot of different talking points. Initially going into the program, I was just like, well, I want to talk about X, Y, and Z because this will lead to me being able to go into another realm of this topic. And then, um, but I needed to fine tune it, which made a lot of sense. But that also changed the focus of my topic. And then I'm thinking, is what I'm going to use for the dissertation or just for the class? And then I just, with my research, it just became um, convoluted. And so I think I my I needed more help fine tuning the research and the supporting articles to go with it.
Yeah, and and you're absolutely right about that. Sometimes you're just hitting walls as to like where's the information? The information should be here. And that is a great time to reach out to a faculty member, and a great time to reach out to me or to other librarians if I'm not available, because it might be something where maybe the keywords need to be changed up a little bit, whatever is searching, or maybe, the databases that are being used, maybe those aren't the most relevant databases. So I've experienced that a lot with students where it's kind of like your topic and you kind of keep tweaking it this way and that way, and that goes back to the organizational strategies of like saving stuff that you like, even if it's not completely related to what you're working on at the moment, because it might be relevant.
Just
Yeah.
want to add, so when I was saying earlier, and I can't remember if it was on the recorded portion or not, but as you're using your topic in each course, you will have to kind of fit it between the guardrails, right? So if it is a course about leadership, then you're going to probably have to look at your topic kind of from like a leadership perspective, if you will. So it gives you the chance to, almost forces the tweaking of your topic. I'm going to look at it from leadership. I'm going to look at it from OB. I'm going to look at it from OD. I'm going to look at it from change management, whatever. So that it's forcing you into some different literature to see those different angles. In this course, I used to let students totally free pick their topics. That didn't go well because it's the third course. And people, like Rachel explained, were like, oh my gosh, like I spent so much time trying to pick a topic that I ran out of time to do the assignment. So in this course, I've given you options of topics that you can choose. If you're a person that's like, hey, like I know my topic and I'm going to use it and explore it through the OB angle, that's fine. If not, you can choose from one of the options and then fit your topic into that somehow. So you can kind of use it either way. So I just wanted to give you that information.
Okay, great. And Jaslyn and Lena, thank you very much for the comments you wrote in there. Um, Absolutely common obstacles that people face. Just there's so much out there that so many resources that you can tap into, and how do you decide which are the most effective for you? And again, you're gonna have so much information. How do you organize it? And I think Zotero, Lena, I think maybe Zotero might be a good strategy for you. To kind of help you maybe put things into different buckets. And the really great thing about Zotero and other types of reference management tools is that you can put articles into different folders or different buckets, but you can also put them into multiple folders. So if you see an article that, fits three different concepts that you're working on, you can throw it into all three of those folders. So it just helps you find patterns amongst different articles. So I definitely will spend some time with that.
Like coding,
Okay,
qualitative
wonderful.
research coding for your article storage. So, Lisa, do we want to jump into the
Yes,
databases now?
absolutely. Yep, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to watch my time. So 7 o'clock, right, is class is 6 to 7.
Yeah, we can try to wrap it up
Yep,
right around the
I
7 mark.
absolutely
That'd be
will.
good. And then
Yep.
I'll stay on if anybody has any other questions.
Okay, so I'll try to wrap it up a couple minutes before. So let me just start off by saying that if you know if you feel like you would like some more time to learn how to navigate different databases or talk about keywords or anything at all, please make an appointment with me. I highly recommend. Even if we just do like one appointment, like an hour long, hopefully you would walk away feeling so much more confident. So I'm gonna touch upon different things, but really, if you're still feeling really you're not feeling very confident, reach out to me and we'll just meet one on one and take our time. But I just want to make sure that I get to hit some key things for you. So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna go into I'm gonna start at your ULearn site where I have my guide, my library guide, which you should remember from last semester. If you haven't spent much time on this guide and you are feeling confused or not confident, then definitely go back and spend time with this, because I do talk about, I give you suggestions for, say, how to read a scholarly article, different tips on where to search for finding articles. Really importantly, if you haven't spent time with Google Scholar, definitely go to my Google Scholar section. I have that slideshow that gives you some of the really key features from Google, especially the most basic thing of connecting your Google Scholar account to Johnson & Wales, letting Google Scholar know that you are part of the JWU community so that you will get the full text available. So for example, on my screen right now, I'm on those slides. And let me go back to, when you're searching and then you find you find on the right-hand side of an article that it says JWU Library full text. That if you're not seeing that, that means that you need to go into your settings and you need to select Johnson and Wales as one of your libraries so that it will pop up into there. So definitely, if you are not feeling confident about using Google Scholar, please go to the guide within your ULearn site and then just click on the Google Scholar tab itself. I also have a short section on using AI. I've kept it pretty broad because I didn't want to focus on tools because that becomes so out of date quickly, but more importantly of what do you need to consider when you're going to use generative AI tools? What tools are going to be most helpful, most effective for whatever you're trying to do? So for example, ChatGPT is not a good tool to use for academic, determining academic scholarly articles or academic information, because, it's pulling from a very general pool of information. There are academic tools out there such as Research Rabbit, such as Elicit. There's several of them. So you want to make sure that you are using the right tool for what you need. And I've given you on this page in your ULearn site some very helpful places that you can go to get help. So for example, we've created a guide. The library's created a guide for AI in higher ed. It is for faculty and staff, but as you noticed from my note, there is a page specifically about scholarship and research. And if I'm going to click there just to show you what it looks like. So in this particular page, scholarship and research with AI, we give you some kind of basic information, and then we give you places where you can search different tools and what they can do for you, and understanding the copyright implications. So what I want to do is jump into the library website directly. So actually, let me just click on one thing, the welcome page on your guide. If you're in your ULearn site, you can very quickly contact me through on the welcome. So you see that my name will take you to the research appointment page that lives at the library website, and or you can just send me an email. I forget who said it, maybe it was Nadia, about wanting to have that guide on the side 24/7. Unfortunately, I can't give you that, but our chat service, if you can't get me immediately, and you just want to ask a question of a librarian, you can use our chat service. And so I've given you a link right on this particular page, but it's on our library page too. So when the library is physically open, you can always ask us through chat, anything that's related to information. Okay, I'm gonna jump over to the library website. Are there any questions, immediate questions about the guide? Was there anything in here that you wanted clarification about or anything at all? And I'm just reading Rachel's comment before I move forward.
And I just want to chime in here for a second. I couldn't get myself unmuted. A lot of these tabs are very they're applicable to the entire program. But because in this course, we are really honing literature review development skills. That is, so we're doing OB content, but the technical side, we are really working on literature review development. And I know that you've done literature reviews, we're going to take it to the next level. So you can see Lisa has the lit reviews tab here, finding articles, which is really what you're going to need, understanding the articles. So I'd say understanding, finding Google Scholar is helpful, lit reviews certainly, and then kind of ancillary, the using AI, API style, and reference management. We're really going to focus on this as well for citations. So this I'm giving you information through the course, but this is also available to you and may be very helpful.
Thank you. Thanks. I just want to address Rachel's uh, issue of, requesting an article and that it can take a long time. And I apologize if if it happens because of our library work. We have one librarian who does interlibrary loan. Um, and so if they're not working, then it could be a couple of days before you get an article. So for example, if you put in a request on a Friday afternoon, they're not going to see it till Monday morning, on a typical week. Um, if we do have to get an article from another library, again through interlibrary loan, we are also constrained by the other library. So it takes time to find another library that has the article, and then we have to wait for them to send it to us, and then we send it to you. So sometimes that's part of the delay too. If you're on a time crunch, feel free to reach out to me, and I can just see if maybe I can speed it up, or at least I can find out if you're going to be able to get the article in time. Or worst case scenario, maybe I can find some other material that's applicable to your need at that point. Okay, I'm going to go to the library. From here, I'm just going to click on the JWU Library logo. And this should be familiar to you. The the place that I really want you to focus in on when you're on the library page is the EBSCO articles tab. I really don't want you searching. You can search the everything, but if you know that you're just looking for scholarly empirical articles or just scholarly research articles, you're going to have a more effective search if you go right to the EBSCO articles. You can definitely do both, but I just kind of recommend that you do this first, because the everything tab is going to search, as it says, books and ebooks and streaming videos, and it's very difficult to search based on subject headings. You have very little control as to the content, so you're going to end up getting a whole bunch of things that are probably not relevant. So I just recommend that if you haven't been doing this, start first with the EBSCO articles tab if you're working off of this page. The second thing that I really like you to use is Google Scholar, because Google Scholar is going to pick up scholarly articles that are freely available online, open access, and it's going to tap into the articles behind the paywalls. So it's gonna tap into our databases that we subscribe to, and make those known. So Google Scholar will pick up articles from things that are also available through the library resources. And then the third piece is the ProQuest dissertation database. So I'm actually clicking on the databases tab here, and I'm going to go to the databases list. So especially for those of you that maybe haven't come to this page before. This database list is all the databases that we have available, and you can go down to I think it's under ProQuest under P for ProQuest dissertations. You can find that there. But you can also notice from here that you can click on the All Subjects pull down, and this will determine the best databases for specific subject areas, specific disciplines. So, going to the business list will give you a very large list of databases that have scholarly articles, but also company profiles, industry research, industry profiles. So all different types of databases are listed here. It's not all databases that have scholarly articles in them. Newspaper articles, newspaper databases are here too. So like when you're on your guide back on your ULearn site and you click on the Finding Articles tab, I have pulled out those databases that specifically have scholarly articles in them. And then, of course, I've given you links to back to the library so that you can see all of the databases that you have access to. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the library homepage. I am going to jump back to EBSCO articles, and I just want to do a sample search just to show you some of those good strategies again for locating articles. And what I need from you is I need a topic idea. So anybody have something they're working on that you want us to find something for you?
So Lisa, maybe we just pick something kind of generic from week one here
Okay.
in the
All right, let's do
topic.
that. Okay. And
To
what's
mine. Yep.
what's week one?
Okay, so let's pick ethics in just put ethics in OB programs. It's ethics in the design and implementation of OB programs.
Okay. In OB programs. So the assumption is that that OB might be a term that's used.
Yeah, and you can put organizational
Okay.
behavior if
Okay.
that makes it better.
So that's something to consider when you're searching, that a lot of times you could put an acronym in, but you might also want to try both ways. Let's see. So we've got 3 results. Anything look like it's relevant? Let's see.
Let's try organizational behavior.
Okay.
But this
Yeah,
is
no.
good because it shows you what can happen if one of the things I think you'll learn as you go through with searching, you constantly have to like think about new ways you can search, or if you read an article and you see other keywords, use those for searching, things like that, because just tweaking it a little will change your results.
And did I do that right? Organizational behavior?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
There's 2 camps, organization behavior and organizational. We changed all of our information to say organizational last year. So
Oh, good. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, so that brought me one more result. So which makes me think, okay, well, would would it always would a good article always use the term programs? Would it always say organizational behavior programs? And maybe the answer is yes, and maybe the answer is no, it might not. So you want to be really open to playing with different words. And I know this is pretty specific, so maybe 4 articles isn't so crazy, but this one actually looks like, oh no, this is organizational ethics program.
Well, and that might, because it says prevention of unethical, that works. I mean, it's prevention of unethical behavior in teams. I mean, that could
Business
definitely work.
ethics.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, take off the word programs and let's just see if it brings, oh, you went to the article, sorry.
Okay. No wor yeah, no worries. So what I was trying to do was to see if maybe the subjects that's listed for this one might lead us to some better oh, there's no subject headings. Okay. It should tell us, they should give us a list of subjects here. Or maybe the abstract would give us some keywords that we didn't think about that we could try. So you're looking for like a, so you're looking for a university program, right? You're talking about curriculum. Is that
No,
what you're talking about?
no, just or in organizations like cultural OB programs, like how they're building their culture and like the ethical issues that may come with that, or things that
Mhm.
are good and bad.
Okay.
I'll be honest, and this is good for me to say to all the students, there's no right and wrong in which direction you take this. So, to Lisa's point, if you wanted to take this if you're in education and you want to talk about ethics and organizational behavior programs in education, that's fine. I don't care what direction you take it in. These are kind of guides to help you have a direction that is OB focused. As long as you can build and sort of justify your direction, that's however you want to go is totally fine. But obviously, this might not have been the best one to pull for this, but some things are coming up.
Well, yeah, but also I love messy searches like this because it's just, again, it's showing you that you have to be persistent. Sometimes you have to try lots of different things to get to what you need to. So this one, when we took off the word programs, we obviously have hit a lot of articles that are not relevant, but we've come up with 657. At least that's something to work with. And now to go into the filters, we can try to hone in on subjects that are relevant to what we're trying to find out. So we can go down this page and look for the section that says subjects right here. And so the 657 articles, they fall into these different subject headings. So is there something maybe here that's relevant to what we're trying to figure out? And if we're still coming up blank, then, we need to go back to our articles. We need to go back to our keywords and really try to think about some alternative words that can be used. But let's just say that organizational ethics is really where we want to go. Then
Yeah,
we can click on that.
I would say let's just go with whatever so we
Okay.
can use it.
Yeah. And then, so if, so let's say we get a couple of good things. You know that we have not selected full text because we don't want the system to only locate things that are available full text. We want to find anything that's possible. And if the EBSCO databases doesn't have it full text, then we have a button that will find out, will look in another database. So this particular one, this first one, actually, is this kind of on topic of what you were talking about? Maybe.
Yeah.
You'll notice that it's not available, but check for full text because maybe another database that we subscribe to has it. And unfortunately, it didn't. If it was, there would be a full text available here. So in this case, we'd want to request it through interlibrary loan, request a copy. So don't be tempted to click that full text because you want to keep yourself open to what might be just indexed in a database and not available full text. The other thing I want to point out to you is when you do find a good article, and let me just click on this. saving it. So, of course, you're very comfortable with exporting things at this point. But if you start using a reference management tool like Zotero, you can export this into your Zotero account. So you would do that by, let's see, where do I want to go? I want to go to Cite. I want to export the citation. And there should be something here that allows me to also do the full text. But let's just say, okay, I'm going to export it. I have Zotero personally, so I'm going to export it to Zotero. And hopefully it's going to open for me. I'm going to move this. Oh, now it tells me. It wasn't telling me before that. Okay. So it's opened up my Zotero and I said, yes, add it. So hopefully it did add it. It's hard for me to tell if it did this. Okay. I want to go into, I don't think it loaded it. There should be a list here. I don't think it loaded it, but it should have. What I really want to quickly show you here on Zotero, so let's pretend that it did successfully load it into my Zotero. You notice, here it is right here, right? That was the crazy name that it gave it, right? There it is. Okay. It did load it. Okay. So, as you can see, it's loaded all of the citation information, all of the metadata in here. And one really nice thing about this is once you put articles into your Zotero, you can not only put them into different folders, organize them that way, but you can create a bibliography easy enough. So, what you would do is you would select everything that you would want in your bibliography and you would right click on it. And you see one of the options is create bibliography from item. And of course I want APA, 7th edition is good.
I just want to clarify here when we're talking about bibliography, it's putting it, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong. This is like putting it into kind of a saved area for all your sources. Is that correct?
Say that again.
So when you say you want to create a bibliography, what is that
Yeah.
doing in here?
So it's actually going to create a list for me.
A
So
list of what?
of citations. So I am going to go into my
A list of citations that are in that article? I'm confused.
Nope,
No.
it's the actual article.
Yeah.
So let me go
Okay.
to blank.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's pulling all your sources and creating citations
There
for
it
your
is.
sources, right? Okay.
Correct.
So I want to clarify 2 points. One, so this is not the annotated bibliography, just so we're not confused on that. Bibliography is like a collection of all of the sources that you may have looked at, read, kind of pulled together for your research. In this program in an APA, we don't use bibliographies, we use a reference list. And the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes students will submit their assignments and it will say bibliography. You're working with a reference list. However, in here, it's looking at all the sources that you're pulling. So it's a true bibliography. And then you're going to take out or put into your paper the ones that are applicable, which then make up your reference list. For this first assignment, it's the annotated bibliography. So you're actually going to have the citation and then a blurb that you're going to write kind of general information about the article. So I just wanted to clarify all those three different terms.
So if you do take your citations out from Zotero and you end up putting them into a document like this, then your annotation would go right below this, right? The annotation for this particular article. You're saying
Yeah,
the
I can't
annotation would
remember
go
if
below.
I gave them a format. I'll have to double check
Yeah.
above, below,
Yeah.
somewhere, but in combination with, yes.
Okay. All right. Um, okay, so Zotero, if you go back to your ULearn site to your guide, don't save it. Let me go back. Um, and under the tab that's APA Style and Reference Management, I give you a couple of examples of reference management tools. And again, I do like Zotero because it is the free version is enough for what you need. And just like other reference tools, reference management tools, you'll be able to grab those citations and those full text articles out of databases and import them right into Zotero. There is also an add-on app through Chrome. I don't know if there's add-ons for other types of browsers, but Chrome you can do a Zotero. So you just want to be on the look. If you use Zotero, be on the lookout for those types of like Zotero add-ons because it makes your life so much easier. If you have something on the screen, if you have an article on the screen and you're like, oh, I want to add that to my Zotero, then you can just click on a button that says Zotero, import it, and it will automatically import it into your own Zotero. This section in the ULearn guide, the APA style tab, talks all about that. So if you haven't explored this yet, you're going to notice that there's a guide here that I highly recommend that was created by another librarian at Georgia State and explains all of this. How do you load Zotero? How do you use Zotero? How do you connect it with all different resources so that you can easily import into Zotero and how to organize your information within Zotero. Last thing I want to jump into with the last couple minutes that we have is I want to show you Research Rabbit. So this is one of many AI tools that have been created for scholarly information. What I like about it is that it it has a free subscription that again does a lot of things for you. The other really neat thing about Research Rabbit is not only does it identify articles for you, but it gives you a visual. It actually maps out the articles that you locate and connects them with articles that are related to it and articles that cite it. And I'm going to give you an example right now. So if I do organizational behavior just as a general keyword, and I'll do program. Let's see what comes up. All right, did I spell that wrong?
I would take out program, just get rid of that altogether.
Okay. I'm also
Oh,
wondering if it's searching my library.
you are
There it is.
saved
Sorry
stuff.
about that. Yep, sorry about that. Because I found it very hard to believe that there was going to be nothing in here.
Don't put program, just leave it. This is a good learning piece for me too, of if I need to update and wording on that assignment, but
Yeah, but program might work. Okay. So it came up with a bunch of, you know what? I'm going to throw program in just to see. and I don't know if these are relevant, what we found, but um,
Yes. Yep. So far, those are all relevant. Now
okay.
they're
Anything you want me to
older.
click on?
No,
Yep,
well, the 18 is more recent. Is there a way to adjust the dates?
there is, but I'll show you why we might want to pick that, or why we don't want to get rid of it. Does that one look like it's really relevant, or should I click on something
Organization review,
else?
organization behavior management. Wait, stop moving.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Settings from 1990 I mean that one that 2016 there, the one right above where you are, that's relevant. I mean, they're
Okay.
all
Okay.
any
So
of
I'm
them
going to
would be
click on that. And now it's come up on my right side. So my searching is on the left side. The article I've selected is on the right hand side. And it's giving me a little bit of information, an abstract. And then you notice I can dive deeper into this article. So 75 other articles have cited this, and this is where the kind of cool thing happens. So I'm going to select the cited by 75. And now it's giving me the visual of this article, what they call a seed article, the article that I chose, and all the articles that have cited it.
amazing. This is so helpful for you guys. Not for this course, it will be helpful, but you're not collecting a ton of articles for this course. But for a dissertation for chapter 2, this would be huge.
It's really fun, and you can see visually the higher up on the visual the articles are, they are cited more. And the the ones on the bottom, sorry, the ones that all the way go further to the right are the ones that are most recently published. So the newest ones are going to be down in this far corner. But think about it. What would be so special about an article that you might find way up at the top that might have like 1,000 or 10,000 people who have cited it? Think about how valuable that might be. You could very easily identify seminal works that way. So you find an article up top that's like, oh wow, this has been cited 10,000 times. This must be a pretty important article. So even visually speaking, it's kind of interesting to see how that scholarly conversation has developed in a particular area just by seeing who's done it. And then you can always click through and see what's there, or you can just look on the left-hand side and look for more.
This
You can
is
add more.
terrific. I have not seen or used this tool before. Lisa told me about it yesterday, but this is really valuable. Lisa and also, so if you do find a seminal work, if it was written in 1987, you're going to need to support that with more recent citations of that article. So this is huge. Um, where I know you had it pulled up in your tabs already.
Yep,
Where does
I'm gonna
somebody,
put them. I'm gonna put that in the I'm gonna put it in the chat for you. But you can just Google Research Rabbit.
okay.
And then the other thing, just to tie it back to Zotero, is that, I've identified an article, the information for the specific articles on the right-hand side. I'm going to save it. I want to save it to one of my collections. So just like in Zotero, I can create folders of topics, and I can also export it to Zotero. I can get the citation and I can export it. So exporting it through RIS, I can save it to my Zotero. And I'll have to see if I did that. But I will also, wait a minute, I have two Research Rabbit um, things I wanted to give you. YouTube. This is what I'm going to give to you. So Google Research Rabbit, and I'm going to give you the YouTube. Um,
Lisa, could you add this to your library resources
I
area?
absolutely will. Yeah. And I apologize that I did not get a chance to do it before
That's okay.
yesterday, between today and yesterday. But yes, absolutely. I will do that. And I will put it in the AI. Does that make sense, Dr.
Yeah,
Bilodeau, to put it
I
in the AI?
I think so, definitely. And I'm going to so with these weekly sessions, I will post the recorded sessions
Mhm.
within the next day or so, and then I'll give you any resources. So I'm actually adding this. Well, ULearn's not working for me, but I will add this into that section as well.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Um, this is Research Rabbit is pulling from credible open access uh, resources. So it's not making up, it's not hallucinating citations. And it is also locating some of those articles that do need that are behind paywalls. So you may find you might click on something and you're not going to actually get the article. But remember, you have the power to get any article you want. If you find a title of something that you need the full text, you remember you go back to the library, you go home to the library, and you put it into the everything box. And that will locate which resource you can find that particular article. Or it will give you the button to do ILL, to get to ILL. And again, that little tip is also in your ULearn guide. If I go back to your ULearn guide and I click on Research Help and Tips, locating full text articles. It's the first tip on that tab.
Okay.
Okay. I need to stop there, but remember that I welcome anytime you want to meet with me one on one. And again, I set it up for an hour long, but we can meet for 15 minutes. We can meet for 30 minutes, whatever you want. Just make an appointment with me. And if you have trouble finding a time that works, email me, just like I told you in the last class.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to let you jump off. Everybody else, if you want to stay on, I'm going to go through a couple of things. And if you need to go, I also get that as well. But Lisa, thank you so much for joining us and
Thank you
presenting.
very much. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks you also. All right. So a couple of things. I'm actually going to share my screen just quickly here so that you can see. Maybe I'm going to share my screen, a few things that I want to share with you. All right. So the first thing I want to share with you is this. Okay. So this is in the black circles here. This is what a traditional literature review process looks like. You identify a problem or question, search the literature, you analyze and evaluate, you synthesize and write the literature review. This here in the bigger, larger bubbles is what we are going to do in this class. And we are identifying a problem or question, but like I mentioned earlier, this is given to you in this course. However, you can tweak it as long as you're looking at a topic through an OB lens. Searching the literature, right? So this is really, you're identifying and searching kind of in one motion. And I mean, one step, then the next, and then preparing your annotated bibliography. So that's what we're starting week one with. This is all three of these circles really represent the very beginning of the process. And throughout the course, we're going to then move to the outline, writing a draft, and then finalizing. And we're doing this step by step. These three kind of go together, but you can see why. So this is like its own step, then the next step, then the next step, then the next step. So we are really taking this literature review process, breaking it completely down and building it back step by step. And each week you're going to get feedback from me on how you did on this, what you can do to kind of make it better for the next step. And you'll keep building based on that feedback. And then in the last 2 weeks, I believe, of the course, don't quote me on that, you will have the chance to walk through this process on your own without the feedback at each step, but using the feedback from those steps when you did it the first time. So that's what we're doing in this course in terms of the technical side of the lit review. Okay, so we're gonna move off of this, and I want to go into this is week 1. And I know there was a question in the chat about just clarifying expectations. So these not so micro lecture boxes you don't have yet. I will populate those, like I said, in the next day or so. But in terms of the discussion, so I don't give you specific lengths all the time, but I do kind of give you guidance of, okay, how many sources should you have for this discussion post, kind of what's the direction of it. It should be substantial. I mean, the discussions are kind of like a mini assignment in this course. So that's how you're treating it. It doesn't need to be 3 pages long, but it should have substantial information. In my courses, I only require 1 post to a peer. You're welcome to respond to more than 1 peer, but to me, I'd rather you spend your time and resources, effort, energy, all of that on the assignment rather than responding to 5 people. Now, if you have the time or it's kind of low-hanging fruit while you're, eating lunch and that's what you want to do, totally good with that. But generally 1 peer, substantial peer post. This isn't just a hi, nice job, thanks for your post. You should be adding something substantial to it. So it's 1 peer. And then the industry reflection. So I have always said since I started in this program that the DBA is really the intersection of academia and industry, right? So this is the academic side. You're in the industry side. We want you to kind of parallel the 2 worlds so that your academic side is relevant to what you're doing, because otherwise, why are you here? You don't just need more school, more degrees. There's a purpose. And a DBA is an applied degree, unlike a PhD where a lot of it is theoretical. Here, we want you to be able to apply it and use it as quickly as possible, because first of all, some of it gets outdated so quickly. You should use it when it's current. And why not, right? It makes sense. So that's every week you'll see, or pretty much you'll see a reflection there. This week's assignment is the annotated bibliography. Again, I will reiterate, these are guides for you in terms of the topics. You can tweak them, you can change them. If 2 of the questions make sense and not the 3rd one, if there's a 3rd one here, I can't see, my Zoom's in the way. You can make this work for you. I would like you to try to either use one of these as a guide and then kind of infuse an industry or a topic that you're interested in, or take the topic that you have in mind right now and infuse the OB side of it into that topic. So either way, you don't have to be exact, but you're going in this direction. Keep in mind, the reason I chose these topics is because this is what our course is based on. So to help it also relate to the course, these are your options. You can stray, you can deviate, that's fine. So that's where we are for today. Again, each week, these will be much shorter, probably 15 to 30 minutes of recordings, and I'll post those. And if anyone has any questions, I will stop the recording and stay on. So thank you and happy week 1.